May you find happiness and peace, and may your home stand the test of time.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary. Today I'll be reacting to another video from Charlie Kirk. Today's video is titled Charlie Kirk crushed socialists demanding high taxes. So without further ado, let's get started.
I'm the vice president of the College Democrats of Washington, but I love having debates with and learning from folks with whom I disagree.
Okay.
My question is about the corporate tax rate, and specifically the top marginal corporate tax rate. Why do you believe that increasing the top marginal corporate tax rate would stifle innovation and harm our economy?
Well, I mean, by definition, first of all, the government is already way too big and we shouldn't raise taxes as it is. I mean, we have a $6 trillion federal budget right now. But it depends on what you mean by a corporation. Do you mean Apple or do you mean your local laundromat?
Well, the top marginal corporate tax rate, so let's just say for large cap companies over $10 billion.
Fair enough, yeah. Because the way that the tax code is written is that you could form an S corp or a C corp or an LLC and they get treated very similarly. But I mean, what is your question? Why do I think it will stifle innovation? Well, the more the government takes, then the less money the companies will have to actually invest in products for research and development. And I'm not a defender of corporations. In fact, I think corporations are doing a lot of damage to this country right now. So.
Yeah, but I would personally advocate for increasing it perhaps to double what it is right now at 21%.
Of course, you're a Democrat. You want more money that isn't yours.
No, because when you say that, like, increasing this tax rate will stifle innovation, the entrepreneurs themselves disagree with you. Bill Gates himself called this idea quote-unquote nonsense.
Yeah, it's easy for Bill Gates. He's worth $120 billion, so he can, jet around the world complaining about climate change and trying to get people to take vaccines they don't need. It doesn't affect him, right? Microsoft is worth $3 trillion. They're too big to fail. This is very simple. All taxes ultimately do this. They forcibly take money away from an efficient part of our country and they transfer it to an inefficient, bloated, corrupt part of our country. The government, it's that simple. So it's not that we should have zero taxes, it's that you're calling for doubling, which is to take more money from an efficient part of the economy towards a bloated federal government that is already spending $6 trillion a year, the biggest the government has ever been.
I mean, I would push back on the idea that it is an efficient part of the economy. Look at, for example, Microsoft and Apple. Both of these companies have over $150 billion in cash on hand, not cash that is being used for R&D, cash that is just sitting in bank accounts. And I would like to point out that these two companies, the two most valuable companies in the world, were founded while the corporate tax rates were significantly higher than they are right now. So of course now, like, they're massive behemoths, it doesn't affect them. But when these companies were getting started, like, the corporate tax rates were incredibly high.
Because it didn't impact them, because they were getting started. It didn't impact them, they were getting started, like you said.
No, but even when they, after they got started. And
hold on, let's play this out, because they weren't turning a profit for the first 30 years. Like, learn something about Microsoft's history.
No.
Hold on a second. They didn't pay any taxes for 20 years. No corporation worth any salt or an accountant that knows what they're doing is not going to pay any taxes for 20 years. Why? You're going to intentionally show losses to not pay taxes. Taxes, by definition, are only going to be on profits. So Apple and Microsoft, being very nifty, they said, we're just going to keep on showing deficits and showing losses, therefore evading all corporate taxes for 20 years. And where do they get their money? By boosting the stock price, by going through an IPO, an initial public offering, and then eventually going on the public market and boosting their valuation by showing losses, but their valuation is actually much greater than the quote-unquote profit. Does that make sense? The profit margin. So the argument doesn't
No, but when you look at the profit margins, Microsoft was an incredibly profitable company, even within 15 years.
They are now, obviously.
No. Even at the beginning, software is the biggest money printer in the history of the world.
They weren't profitable. That's the point, is that they spent more than they brought in. They had good revenue. You know the difference in revenue and profit, obviously.
No, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but these companies intentionally did not turn a profit for the first couple decades. They'd be silly to do that.
No. They were profitable. That's my point. They had a price-to-earnings ratio. Microsoft in the 80s and the 90s was a profitable company.
No, I understand, but the point being is that these startup companies, I'd have to go all the way back into the business literature of every single year, they intentionally, just using as an example, their stock as leverage to not actually post earnings. So if you want to tax revenue, that's a separate issue, right? Because a lot of these companies aren't
profit,
even...
Yeah. Not revenue, profit, yeah.
Okay, that's a separate issue. But again, we have a difference of opinion here. I don't want to give the government any more of our money, and you do. And so we just disagree.
Okay. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
I think I get Charlie's points. The government are taking a whole lot. That's the truth. Like, in any country in the world, like you talk about, like, government are really taking a whole lot. And well, some of them are using this money, to develop their country. Some of them are siphoning this money, especially when it comes to Africa. But I'm not going to jump into Africa. I'm going to come back to this. When he made mention of companies like Microsoft, companies like Apple, not showing profits, always showing losses. I feel it's a good way to start a business. You don't need to start a business and start paying tax immediately. You need to start a business and make sure your business your business expand before you start paying taxes. You already know you're making profits. But instead of you to pay tax, why don't you put that profit back into the business? And at the end of the day, you show that yes, you're making losses because there is no return. You are not really making the profits you want to make. So government can tax you on losses. They tax you on profits. And I think it's a very smart way to grow your business, because the amount of money they would have used to pay government as tax, they instead put the money back into the business. And that is the wisdom. Like, that is the wisdom, because the more the money enter the business, you take more loan from bank. The bank can see that yes, you're making money, you're expanding, you're growing, so they will be willing to give you money because they know you pay back your loan. And by doing that, you are expanding, you are going places, opening different branches. And when you start showing profits, like you're making profit, like you already have several businesses everywhere, your profit margin is extremely high. I feel it's wisdom. I really really love their way of how they did things, and I think we all, or these young entrepreneurs, need to buy into the idea. And this can only happen if you decide to open a business with people, different investors, different people coming into your business. If you decide to do it alone, your profit margin would not be much. That is the truth. I see entrepreneur out there, you want to start a business and you want to do it alone. You don't want your friend to be part of it because you feel like when the money start coming, you want to reap all. No, that business will not go far. If you want a business to go far, you need to get people involved. You can start with, I don't really advise people to start business with families, because you might not be able to control their behavior, their attitude. But if you're starting business, you can bring people that are afraid to lose, okay, that have something, that have investment in the business. Bring stakeholders that also have part of their money, because they would want to see the business succeed. That is the truth. So the more you share the ideas, the more you get people to buy into the ideas, the more they add the money, the more you push the money into the business, keep on expanding, the more the business will grow. And that is it. And based on what Charlie said, he said government don't need any more taxes. They are taxing a whole lot. I think here in Ghana, we are going through a lot when it comes to tax. They've cancelled this toll booth tax, but now they're taxing us. Every amount you withdraw, you're being taxed. Everything you do, everything you buy, there is tax in it. It's just excessive and kind of annoying though, but we don't have any other choice. We have to pay, because if you are in a country, you have to live by the rules of the country. And me as a foreigner, I don't have any other option. So I have to pay what they ask for. So this is a beautiful one. I enjoy how Charlie broke this down to this guy and tried to explain, why government don't need more taxes, and also try to explain why, entrepreneur, whatever they are making, it's not only going to their pocket, it's going back to the business, and it's going back to expand their business. Like I said before, this is a brief one. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If this is your first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remember bless.